When I'm in a new area, I always try and visit local chefs. But in my time on the reservation, I haven't seen a single Navajo restaurant. Instead, Roy suggested that I meet Luva Dahuzi, a food campaigner and author of the first Navajo cookbook. She's the closest thing to a Navajo Nigella. Hi, are you Luva?
Yeah.
Thank you for seeing me.
All right, well, come over here. You're going to get to see my girls in here, okay?
Hello, girls.
Oh, hello.
Okay, hello.
How are you?
Just fine.
Nice to meet you.
Yes,
How'd you
welcome
do?
to the Navajo Nation.
Yeah. Luva can remember when the government tried to strip the traditional food culture from the Navajo once and for all.
In the 30s, 1930s, they did a reduction on the livestock. The government did that. The United States government came because they were saying that the Navajos are overgrazing.
How can you overgraze this big? How can it be overgrazed? It's the biggest amount of space I've ever seen.
I was just a little girl. I've seen it. I was told not to look at it, but I did. I always sneak off and look at it. And they shot all the sheep, and they shot them, and then they put gas on them and burned them.
Really? Didn't even eat them?
I saw my grandfather, my grandmother, everybody
Crying.
because that's what they did. That they did the same thing to the horses and the cows.
So before they did that, the Navajos were fully independent, fully healthy,
yes,
and they lived off the land.
Yes. Today it has changed. Everything has changed. Everybody is going to the Walmart and the supermarkets.
But no supermarket shopping for Luva. She uses old Navajo ingredients like cedar ash, which she makes soups with.
We're going to put the ash about, let's see, ash korogo.
So the ash goes in the bowl.
And then you...
So this is, very interesting, this.
And then you mix it like this. Just mix it with water.
Weird as it may seem, adding ash to the corn helps to release the essential vitamins that are good for you. All the same, I can't believe it's going to taste good.
We've got about 2 litres of water in here with a teaspoon and a bit of ash in it, which I've never heard of before, but I'm with you.
Now I'm going to take the corn.
More water.
In cold water.
I'll be your whisker.
Okay.
So you got like a slop here now,
and then
in here, it's got the most wonderful smell, like malty, sweet. Well, I've never made a dish like this before. So basically, we're making like a cross between a porridge and a polenta.
Yes.
Oh, it's thickened straight away. Look at that.
The next dish is a bit closer to home, which is a bit of a relief.
Okay, so we got what's that? Lamb mince.
This is just beef. Just beef. We put some onions in it, and then we put the chili.
And this is hot chili or sweet chili?
Hot chili.
Now this dish sounds exciting. What is this dish? It's like a beef chili.
Chili beans.
Yes.
Come on, all right, lovely.
Luva used to sell what she cooked from a concession stand outside the front of her house until it was closed down by the authorities.
It was clean in there. We cleaned everything. And then the public health came and said that it was unclean for people to eat.
But they were wrong.
On the dirt. And that's all the...
Oh, they're not allowed to eat it on the dirt?
Yeah, and that's the only way we Navajos have lived all our lives eating on the dirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want the chili going in, my darling? I just know that this is going to be delicious.
Okay.
I just know it.
Finally, the chilies and the beef go in with the pinto beans, a local staple that look like bolotti beans, but they have an earthier taste.
I pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Yeah.
Just help yourself. Everybody.
Time to tuck into Luva's chili beans and cedar ash and corn mush soup.
The way you want to eat.
This soup is fascinating. It's almost like gelatinous. This reminds me of semolina in England. It's delicious.
It's delicious, yes.
Very simple, very clean, but delicious. Wow, look at this. Those beans are absolutely killer. They're so good. They're so good.
It was set up 21 years ago. The boys run the bakery, knocking out traditional celebration cakes. And the girls run the Home Girl Cafe, specialising in healthy Mexican cuisine and that's what I'm after.
What's your name, darling?
Jocelyn.
You're Jocelyn.
Yes.
How old are you, my love?
21.
21. And this is like an incredible colour.
It's
Spinach.
spinach, mint, lime juice, and sugar and water.
That is seriously good.
Right.
How easy is it for a girl gang member to sort of break away?
The thing that made me realize the most that I needed to change was when they shot up my house and my brother.
Shot up your house.
They shot my house. So
And did you have a child at that point?
my little brother, my sister, and my daughter, they were in the house. There was 18 bullet holes
18 bullet holes in the door.
in the door. The kids were screaming and crying, and my grandma ran and tried to get them down to the floor, and the bullets just travel all over, you know? I mean, even as they were running out, they were shooting still the garage and everything. So that's when I realized, like, I don't want this.
And these tattoos you got around you, I mean, Leonard,
Oh yeah, this is my boyfriend, or one of my ex-boyfriends. He's actually facing life right now.
Leonard is
Yes, he's facing life.
for...
Murder.
The dishes served here are all Mexican specialities, but their freshness and vibrance are a reminder that we're in the Sunshine State. Paddy runs the kitchen, and she's agreed to let me have a go at my very own Mexican salad. I'll be the homeboy, and Jocelyn will be my homegirl.
Never ever imagined Mexican salads could be so diverse and so exciting.
This became very Mexican. This is very popular here with us, and it is jalapeno peppers, apples, Fuji apples, and tomatillos. You know tomatillos?
It's juicy and delicious and fresh.
And it is sweet, and brings a lot of flavor to our salad.
That is amazing.
I think it goes very, very well with carnitas.
Rich pork,
Sweet apples.
jalapeno, cilantro, that is amazing.
This is a flavor I can remember from when I was a child. This is our mole, and we make mole the traditional way. So it is an artisan job.
I love this.
Like 37 ingredients.
37 ingredients.
Yeah, at least 7, 8 different dried chilies, pecans, peanuts, sesame seed, pumpkin seeds, walnuts, pecans.
It's no surprise to me that mole includes chocolate, but I had no idea about the 36 other ingredients.
I mean, I'm tasting a side of Mexico that I'd never even thought existed. All those layers of spices and the seeds. For me, this mole, I mean, there's nothing like this in England. People would go crazy for that because the kind of cleverness and the sort of flavours that are bouncing around your mouth are very comparable to a really good curry. Can I go in your fridge and just pull some stuff out?
What are you planning to cook?
Well,
A
like
salad?
make some stuff up like you made that up.
I want my salad to have a Mexican mix of heat, freshness and crunch.
What do they call that green drink you did?
Oh, Angela's potion.
OK, I want you to make dressing instead of a drink.
Mix avocado, chili and lime.
Get your lime, and just sort of roll it and just put some weight onto it. And after a couple of minutes, then you can cut through it, just squeeze your lime into there.
Then I'm going to add salt, red onion, tomatoes, garlic and coriander, or cilantro as they call it here. Mexicans use this for a herby, citrusy flavour in all their salsas.
I might just put a little bit of mint in there as well. OK, honey, if you just put, like, that much of water into there and just liquidise it for me, is that all right? She must think I'm mad. My girl's from the hood and she's... Can you imagine? So I'm putting just a bit more lime in, because basically whatever you do for a dressing, when you put it on salad leaves, it always calms down. So you need it to be a bit cocky, and then by the time you got it on it, it's just right.
For a kind of crouton, crispy fry some sliced onions and tortillas.
OK, the moment of truth. A little bit of salt over the top. OK, let's do it. I'm just going to put just enough to coat, and then I'm just going to use your fingertips to dress the salad, and then I'm still making this up as I'm going along. And then to go on top, get the nice crispy bits like that.
And now for the finishing touch, a nice dollop of sour cream.
Let's have a little taste. Great. What do you reckon, Jocelyn?
Good, I like it. It's a good taste to it.
I'm hooking up with some people
that are Dutch oven cooks. Dutch oven being, you know, the old traditional method of cooking. It's very, very cool. People are really, really into it. It's not a touristy thing. This is like something that people are really passionate about.
Jamie,
good to meet you.
Glad to meet you. My name's Jeff.
Jeff, pleasure.
This is Judy.
Hi, Judy.
This is Rawhide.
How are you?
Lovely to meet you. Yeah, really good. Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Rawhide.
Rawhide?
Yes.
Superb. That's a proper cowboy name, isn't it? Tonight we're cooking with Judy's traditional Dutch ovens. Back in the day, a portable oven meant that the original cowboy settlers could cook just about anything along the trail. They were essential in their struggle to survive in the Wild West. Do cowboys still cook like this up in the mountains and stuff? Does a lot of cooking still happen around the campfire?
Yes, they do. Cook around the campfire.
So even though we're in modern times,
Right.
it's still relevant. Yeah. In the last 3 years, I've sort of, as a chef, I've sort of come almost full circle now. And all that technology and cleverness that's in the industry, stainless steel, jets, steam,
Yeah.
microwaves,
Yeah.
I'm over all that. And actually it's come back to good old charcoal and wood.
Original basic things.
Yeah. And guess what? Judy's cooking beef.
We need to get it going because the weather's so unpredictable right now and cold. We need to get this in the oven.
Okay. Oh, so
Okay.
you're lining it with bacon first.
Yes.
So presumably it will catch and burn a bit, but it would have done its work by then
But I
and
would
flavoured.
put water in there so it won't burn.
Oh, so it won't burn.
Right. I'll put a little water in. A lot of times they would use coffee to put in there as a little bit of a liquid. And we can do that. We can get some coffee if you'd like.
Let's have it. Let's go for some extra flavour.
Okay.
Coffee was important to the cowboys?
Absolutely. That looks good.
That's enough?
That's enough for now. We'll just put the lid on this.
Okay.
The cook was usually a cowboy that had gotten hurt and could not work any longer as a cowboy, so he became the cook.
There must have been a lot of cooks. Because
They had
people
one cook per wagon per about 12 guys.
What's it called when you're a helper of the cook?
It's called a camp jack. They used to get the guys, just a guy that, you know, they kind of like to, you know, get him to help. Okay, can you get that over there? We'll get some coals.
It's traditional cooking, flavoured with the ingredients that cowboys had to hand. Judy's coffee cooked beef now gets covered with hot coals. So that meat is going to be safe there. You'll check it, what, every hour and a half?
Whenever I feel like it or I can smell it.
I love it. Instinctive stuff.
Yes.
So how long are you going to cook that for, roughly?
About 4 hours, maybe 5.
Yeah, okay.
It'll be fine.
The weather's getting worse, but over at the stadium, some die-hard rodeo fans are starting to arrive. Time to crack on with my side dish, otherwise I'm going to miss Tucker on his bucking bronco. I'm making my version of the cowboy classic, baked beans. And most of the country buys baked beans in a tin, right? And I think that homemade baked beans is like a homemade burger or, you know, homemade anything kind of comfort foodie. And when you actually do it and give it a bit of love, it's so worth it. Fry up your onions in a little bit of oil and butter with some crushed up bay leaves. They do say that out here, you know, if you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes and it'll change. It's been about half an hour and it ain't changed. The tin tomatoes. Then add any good white beans to your tomato sauce. I'm using pinto beans. I'm going to give mine a real kick by adding a mixture of dried chilies, softened in boiling water, and then chopped up. I'm going to season it with some salt and then some molasses. You could use brown sugar, but molasses is a big American thing out here. It will give it colour, it will give it a sheen, and it will give that kind of sweet and sourness that we want. We're building like big, ballsy, kick-ass dish. Heading west on wagons, the first settlers were Europeans, and they depended on the native foods like beans, a staple of the cowboys' diet. The extra seasoning that I haven't had is the smoke. That's going to be like that, give it that really amazing flavour. Put the lid on. Right, I'm going to put some coals on top. Here we go. Dutch oven cooking. What a pleasure. What do you reckon, couple of hours?
Couple hours.
Will you look after them for me and I can go to the rodeo?
Yes, I will.
No one's going to want to stand next to me though. I'm going to smell like an old bonfire.
No, that's part of the cowboy aroma.
With my beans slowly cooking, I've got the perfect opportunity to get back to the rodeo and my first slice of real cowboy action. Rodeo is big business, and these local boys dream of becoming one of the few champion bronc riders. But it's a dangerous sport and so competitive that only a few ever make it.
I welcome you to the Cradle of Champions.
Ready to get on?
No, I'm not getting on. Will you, man? I got a wife and 3 kids.
I bet you the first one you get on, the adrenaline rush that you get, will be better than skydiving or anything you've ever been on.
Yeah, I don't want to skydive either.
If you're gonna be back here, you gotta look like a cowboy.
All right, brother.
Try that.
Nice one. All right.
Now you can be up here.
Tucker, how you feeling, brother?
Beautiful young ladies from the...
Are you ready for it?
You get a horse bouncing here, just reach down here gently and talk to him and say easy, like that. And it takes his mind off the cowboy and puts it onto you. So it settles him down so the cowboy can get all his stuff done.
Right.
Where Tucker's at right now is the most dangerous place. That's where 90% of your accidents are gonna happen inside the chute if they happen.
Really?
Because if a horse rears up and comes back, he can smash you here or rear up and flip over and pin you down in the bottom of the corner.
And then
Like
what
that.
happens?
Then they have to open the gate and the horse walks all over the top of you.
Oh, great.
The cowboys keep the bucking horses calm until it's time for them to do their thing.
These things were born and raised to buck. They're bred to buck.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's horses that are bred that you can ride for broke horses, and then there's horses that are bred to buck that there's absolutely no way that you'll ever train them.
Dear Heavenly Father, we ask that you watch over the cowboys and be with us in this rodeo.
The bareback bronc riders compete first. 8 guys on 8 crazy horses trying to stay on for 8 seconds. The riders are marked on their position and how long they've stayed on for. Nobody's made the grade so far. My mate Tucker's up next.
Why would you want to do this? I'm like really nervous for him.
There you go.
Be hero, not zero. We go up there to the Budweiser scoreboard. His name is in lights. The first bareback rider, Nick Blanket.
Lift now, lift. Good mark out, brother.
So scary. Thrown all over the place, and his neck just like... Tough boys, man.
Tucker's the winner. And his prize for risking his life? $120.
Nice one, Tucker.
Thank you.
So how was that? You got a few full 8 seconds?
Yeah, it feels a lot long. Once
Yeah.
you get out there.
To be honest, it seemed a lot longer for me, and I was just watching you.
A win here tonight means that Tucker now gets the chance to go through to the Nationals, where an 8-second ride could earn him $10,000. I've seen what these boys go through, and they're going to need some real cowboy food.
Woohoo! It's so cold. It was like 80 degrees yesterday, and now it's freezing. How's it going?
It's going good. You better check your
The
beans.
rodeo was incredible. Those boys are completely crazy.
The Dutch ovens have been stacked up so that none of the heat has been lost.
Ah, nice. Pretty good texture. What does that look from a cowboy's point of view?
Looks pretty yummy to me.
Yeah.
Come get it.
Go and get some food, guys.
This is the coffee-cooked beef that Judy started 5 hours ago.
It's that moisture, and look how juicy that is. Delicious.
It's been a long day and I wasn't even riding. And now I've got 30 hungry cowboys to feed.
You broke 4 ribs. Yeah, let me give you an extra portion of meat as you've broken all those ribs. Athletes they are, crazy they are, but I mean culturally really interesting as well.
It's amazing to watch, but you'd never get me on a bucking bronco. So tomorrow I'm heading into the west that's still wild to see if I can make it as a proper working cowboy. I'm meeting one of the area's best-known soul food cooks, Nikki Bush.
Nice to meet you.
I do hugs, I don't do handshakes.
Oh, come on, let's hug, babe.
How are you?
Nikki's restaurant has become a hub for Savannah's African-American community.
Pretty much with soul food, it dates back to slavery, and when slaves were brought over, they ended up being given the meat that was not wanted, more or less the meat that was thrown out for trash. And what they did, when you have no money for your family, you
And
put your
tasted.
soul into it, and that's pretty much how it originated.
I'm going to be competing against the experts in just a few days' time. So as a newcomer to Southern cooking, I'm looking for as much inspiration as I can get.
So we have corn on the cob,
Yep.
Southern tradition, collard greens.
Yeah.
Here, which is definitely a soul food traditional, would be pig feet.
Yeah.
You have a lot of people that are just so used to sucking on the bones as well.
And that's part of it.
That's part of it.
Suck on those bones, baby.
Jamie Oliver, this is my dad, Pastor George Bush.
Very nice to meet you. And you must have, I mean, had a fair bit of grief being called George Bush.
Oh, yes.
As a black reverend.
Oh, yes. I went through it. Through
Yeah?
the channels.
After what I heard in the trailer park, I asked Nikki about how it feels to be an African-American in Georgia.
When I was at one of the companies that I use for products, when I pulled in, there was a red truck right in front of me that had the Confederate flag,
Oh, my Lord.
banners, and flags all on the truck. And he had one bumper sticker that said, "Nigger, Abraham Lincoln lied to you. We don't owe you 40 acres and a mule."
Obviously, you hit Snoop Doggy Dogg's giving it all that in the tunes and stuff, but last night I heard it in a sentence for the first time in my life. Seriously. And that was surprising.
You know, Jamie, you may want to, not you personally, but people may want to sugarcoat things, but, you know, in reality, this is still the South.
Really shocking to me now. She said it's still the South, but basically she's saying it's still racist, you know. To think that the black community, the black food, is doing so well at the moment. You've got a black president now, and yet the Ku Klux Klan still exists. You know, she met one like a month ago, and I always thought of soul food as him being like it's got soul, man, you know, it's sort of like funky. But I never realised it went right back to sort of the days of slavery, and soul food means survival food, you know, you've got to put everything into it to get flavour and niceness out of nothing, and this food is delicious. I'm going to try a funky twist on soul food with a surf and turf dish.
So I'm going to get a good local sausage, okay? I'm going to squeeze it out, because they make good sausage around here, right? And this is the quickest way to make good little meatballs. Some bacon.
Add them to a pan with some bacon and cayenne pepper.
And then as soon as this bacon and meatballs gets like dark and delicious, I'm going to bang in the beautiful shrimp. From blue to pink in a matter of seconds.
I'm serving it with the famous grits, a corn-based food which is a bit like porridge.
Cheese goes in. The cheese and the butter obviously is going to enrich in it and make it lovely.
It's Georgia's official state dish, but I've got a surprise for Nikki. I'm taking collard greens, a southern staple brought to America by the slaves, and I'm blending them into a pulp. This will definitely seem strange to them, but I'm just hoping they're going to like it.
Right, this is not usual, huh?
No, it's not usual.
What are you thinking about this at this point?
I think it can still work.
Okay. Look at that. Look at the colour. And what I do at this stage is I take a little knob of butter, I put that into the pan. As soon as that hits the pan, I put my parsley on top, off the heat, and then I hit it with lemon juice. And just let the butter do its work with all those lovely flavours. Collard greens, grits. I know, bear with me. You wait till you put it in your mouth, though, Tiger.
Right at the moment, I'm wondering what it's gonna taste like with the greens and with the grits. It's actually good. I probably would have put a pinch of salt in it.
Is it not salty enough? Which
No.
bit? The grits or the...
I'm tasting the shrimp, and one thing about soul food is it's always seasoned. Here goes grits with sausage and shrimp.
I've put my soul into it, but what does Nikki's 81-year-old mum think of it?
Who cooked?
Jamie did.
Well, Mr. Janey, you're gonna have to come a little bit tighter with your salt.
Just add
Well,
salt
that's
to
not
it.
bad. Just make sure it's got a bit more salt in it. Thank you, Mum. Bless you.
I've arranged to meet a bloke who pioneered home-cooked food from his country of origin. This area, once home to New York's German settlers, is now a Middle Eastern enclave.
This geezer is supposed to be the Mac Daddy. He's like Yoda of Egyptian cooking. Ali.
Hey, Jamie, how are you?
Such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you for coming over.
You have a reputation
Thank
of being
you,
an
sir.
incredible cook.
Yeah, we're trying to do our best.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Back in Egypt, Ali Al-Sayed studied chemistry. But as a new immigrant in the Big Apple, it was cooking, not chemicals, that gave him the ticket to survival.
How long have you been in New York?
We've been in New York for about 34 years.
Oh, right, so a long time now.
Yeah.
Enough to get the New Jersey accent down?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I lived in New Jersey for a while.
Yeah, I can tell.
I lived in Jersey for a while. I lived here for almost 10 years. We've been here
Can you do that? You talking to me?
Oh, yeah, you're talking to me. That's Brooklyn accent.
Wow.
Check
Look at that.
Well, really, it's an appetizer is where we come from, which is hawashi, and we use it.
Hawashi.
Hawashi, how is she doing?
Egyptian cooking is pretty new to me, but Ali's flatbread is absolutely fantastic, stuffed with delicious melt-in-your-mouth duck, onions, pepper, garlic, and it smells out of this world. And the real alchemy of this simple dish is its blend of spices.
This is za'atar. Za'atar is desert thyme.
Za'atar? Which one's
Yeah,
za'atar?
the za'atar
Can I
is,
taste this?
Yeah, please. Za'atar is desert thyme mixed with sesame, some cumin, and sea salt.
What is it?
Desert thyme.
Desert thyme, salt.
Sesame, salt, and
just ground up.
cumin.
Cumin.
And cumin.
That's
And,
amazing. Oh, my God.
New York, especially, considered the capital of food in the world. Not France, not Italy. What you feel like having in an area like Astoria, with 265 different backgrounds. Most of them, they hate each other where they come from, and they come here, they marry, they are in business, they are together, they loving each other.
So what you're saying is the heart of America is obviously around a group of different people from different nationalities that possibly may have been fighting each other, killing each other, hating
Look
each
at
other.
India and Pakistan and
Turkey and Greece.
Turkey and Greece.
Yeah.
Look, Egyptian and Israeli.
Irish and English.
You know, Irish and English. Egyptian and Israeli. You know what I'm talking about? And you know what gets them together, Jamie? You wouldn't believe it. Table. Food. Let me give you some tea with this. Give me some
anything,
hibiscus tea, please. Hibiscus tea is from the pharaonic time.
Smells. Oh my. Ah.
Right? Anyway.
Just a minute. When I was 4 years old, someone gave me that when I was on the Norfolk Broads on a boat, and I've been searching for that flavour ever since, and I couldn't find it.
Try that.
That is a great soup.
Okay, look at the colours.
It's got an element of minestrone about it, hasn't it?
I love how Europeans manipulate things and say, like, Italian. What is Italian cuisine? Because it was a civilization when the Roman had no underwear.
See, look. Who said he was competitive, eh?
When you compare Egyptian with the French and the Italian, I think it's degrading when you call us.
No,
I'm just joking, Jamie. Don't take it serious. Don't be English stuck up. Joke. We don't give a shit about it.
You really did come through Brooklyn, didn't you? You talking to me?
When in New York, do as the New Yorkers do. I'm going to have a go at my very own version of an Egyptian dish. First stop, Ali's local butcher.
Here's the rabbit.
It's all alive.
Of course, sir.
I never expected to see. I never expected to see this
now we're
in the middle of Astoria in Queens.
We're talking about fresh meat.
There's 81 live slaughterhouses in New York City, And I can't believe that this one is only 4 miles from the Empire State Building.
I would have never imagined to have seen this like a mile away from the hotels I've been staying in for 10, 15 years. This is proper old school.
You want a cut or you want a whole?
Whole, please.
Limpio limpio y ahí entero, okay?
Wow, this is my first time in a halal slaughterhouse, but the locals really do get their meat here.
This is a goat.
A goat.
Large goat.
So one the lamb.
Goat and lamb. That's the stomach and the intestines in there. And then got the feet and the head there. And then a couple of stray turkeys. I think, you know, I think this would appear quite crude because people never see where their meat comes from in a lot of culture. So
look at this, almost done.
Now it looks like meat all of a sudden. Thank you.
Let's go.
Now it's time for my first go at Egyptian cooking, New York styling. On all my previous trips to New York, I've never eaten or cooked outside the high-end restaurants. But all over the city, different immigrant communities have made New York their home.
Freddie, you got a little spoon? Yeah. Actually.
I'm about to try my first stab at Egyptian cooking with the help of Ali's kitchen hand, Freddie.
Now, basically, look, this is an opportunity for me to use some of this inspiration in a constructive way. I've got a 1.5 kilo duck, but I'm going to flavour it with Egyptian spices. So I've got the za'atar, nice big pinch of that sumac, then I've got the cumin, and then the chilli, and then a good pinch of salt.
Rub it all over, getting into all the nooks and crannies, and then slow roast that baby.
Freddie, will you whack that in the oven, brother? Now, in here, I've just cooked for about 20 minutes, about 4 plums. I've put some of that hibiscus that I tasted this morning, put that in there as well, and then I just put like a big handful of sugar in there.
Then grab some fresh coriander and whiz it up.
More lime, brother.
For a tasty garnish, finely slice some onion and some radish and give it a hit of salt and a good squeeze of lime.
And the thing about acid and salt is it starts to cook things, OK? So that really harsh, oniony hum, that onion breath thing goes. Freddie, can you get my duck out for me, brother? So have a look at this. This is what happens after about 2.5 hours.
You'll want the skin nice and crispy to chop up, and then the leg meat should slide away from the bone, ready to be shredded.
I can feel this. This is what I'm like at home. This is what my wife's got to put up with. At this moment, she's talking to me, going, oh, the kids tomorrow, you've got to pick them up from Stagecoach and take them to ballet. And I'm going, oh, it's got to be a bit crispier. And I don't hear a word she's saying. Will you listen to me? Oh, OK. Now, I never use iceberg for nothing, but it's actually quite good as a receptacle to eat from. It's quite crunchy.
Smear the leaf with a dollop of that sweet plum sauce.
Crispy.
Add the shredded meat and a bit of that crispy skin. Then add the onion and radish mix. And then sex it up with a little bit of pomegranates, some mint, coriander, squeeze of lime. Delicious.
The whole point of it is you pick it up, you get it, and then you roll it up like this. And then you eat it. Delicious. Really good, really lively, very fresh. I hope Ali likes it.
Right. Yeah, Jane, I'm hungry.
Yeah, come on!
I've named the dish Idamanyanya, which means a handful of Ali. Does that sound rude? I'm meeting with one of the restaurateurs worst affected by Hurricane Katrina.
Hello.
Hello. Jamie Oliver, nice to meet you.
Leah Chase, how are you?
I've heard a lot about you.
Dooky Chase is a New Orleans institution. Ray Charles sang about it, and America's most powerful African-American leaders have eaten there. It's been a tough few years for Leah, the 86-year-old owner.
Katrina knocked me out for, what, 2 years?
Really?
I had to do this whole place over. I lost everything. This floor, you see places we had to dig it up. It was like a canal in here. And it cost a fortune. Because I think $500,000 is a fortune. Yeah. It's a fortune, you know, but people helped me with it, so that was pretty good there.
Leah's going to teach me New Orleans' signature dish, gumbo. a unique fusion of African, Caribbean and French influences.
Gumbo is really the African word for okra. Do you have okra in England?
That doesn't grow, no. But I've always seen okra down some of the more black ethnic streets with, and they do rice dishes with it. The Indians use it in some curries and stuff like that.
We don't see okra in our elite English neighborhood.
No.
We go down there where the Africans are and the Indians, and they have okra. Okay.
No,
well, take it up to your side, sweetheart, sometime. You'll like it.
I didn't mean it like that at all. what I meant...
I know you did.
What I meant was that it's only just become available in the supermarkets.
Can you hold this? Can you do anything, sweetheart?
I'm all here for you, darling.
Right.
What would you like?
Okay, put that in there.
Tell me when to stop.
We're going to stop when we get it all in.
All right.
There you go,
That's easy.
all of it.
Okay, darling.
Okay, we're going to take some onion out.
Would you like me to cut some onion for you?
Do you know how?
Yeah.
Okay. So, excuse me. He knows a little. All right.
Been cooking a while.
That's good. What we Creoles call the Holy Trinity. That's what we're going to put in this gumbo right now.
The Holy Trinity?
You know, the celery, the onions, and the bell pepper. How about that?
I love that, the Holy Trinity.
Okay.
Okay.
I like it a little finer than that, though.
Oh, you want it fine?
Yes, dear.
Sorry,
we
darling.
don't want big humps of
I
that.
don't know. It's like being at college. I love it.
Put it in there. We're going to put some green bell pepper.
Yeah.
Let's go with a little garlic. We'll put a little chicken stock in there. And you see, we're going to put these crabs. People like lots of crab.
How long will you cook this for now?
Cook it until it's cooked, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Cook it until it's cooked.
How did gumbo get to New Orleans?
Gumbo got to New Orleans with the slaves. So they put the okra, I understand, in their ears, the seeds.
Really?
They really smuggled them in.
So they really love their okra, my God.
Well, that was their basic food.
Yeah.
Let's plate up some of this. And you give it a little color here. Now that's as pretty as you want.
The okra, it cooks like quite meaty.
Yeah.
And I really like the thick texture, actually. It's got a little kick to it.
A little
But it's a really hearty broth, really, isn't it?
The restaurant's been rebuilt from scratch, and because there's still work to do, Leah can only offer lunch service.
This whole area was water, just like a lake. This is the entrance to my dining room, but it's still got work to do here.
Yeah.
It's just hard. It's just hard to lose everything.
Yeah, I mean, if you lose everything, then it's a total fresh start, isn't it?
It is a fresh start, and you learn, and you just start over. And it's just hard starting over. It's just so hard. You know, like you see, all those were housing units. All of those were customers I had. But now they're gone.